Welcome into the Viking Central podcast. We are going to be talking some Jayden Daniels today. Kind of a report that just came out, Ian Rappaport. Obviously, his pro day is coming up, and obviously he's going to have a ton of meetings, especially like the top 6 teams that are kind of looking at the quarterback. He is meeting with 6 teams. But I do want to shout out our sponsor real quick. That's Badass Wood Art. As you can see on the bottom, going across the screen. Use code VC15 for 15% off your order. Minnesota-based company, does an amazing job. Minnesota Sports, custom portraits as well, like family portraits. Just does an amazing job. Go check him out. That's Badass Wood Art. You can find him on Facebook, Twitter. Go on Google, type in That's Badass Wood Art. His website will pop up. Again, use VC15 at checkout for 15% off your order. All right, Jayden Daniels. Obviously, we've been hearing a lot about Drake May and J.J. McCarthy. Those are kind of been the 2 top names linked to Minnesota. I know people have been saying if we can't trade up, maybe Michael Penix at 23, but it really does feel like Minnesota is going to jump up to the top 5 for sure if their main target is J.J. McCarthy. Now, there has been talk McCarthy maybe it could go to number 2 out of the owners' meeting. It sounds like the Commanders are really in love with the former national champion out of Michigan. Now, Jayden Daniels has kind of been the least talked about guy out of those 3, which is kind of funny because he could be going number 2 to Washington. And that does make all the sense in the world. There's some connections there with the Commanders and with Jayden Daniels. But say Minnesota does, trade up, and Drake May is the first quarterback off after Caleb Williams, and then the next team does like J.J. McCarthy, or the Patriots trade out. Now, if you got your pick between J.J. McCarthy and Jayden Daniels, now everyone says McCarthy is kind of the natural fit with Kevin O'Connell's system, but I think Jayden Daniels, we know him and Justin Jefferson have connected before, 2 LSU guys that probably are really connected in that way, going to the same college and everything like that. There could be some chemistry right away. Obviously, that's probably going to make Justin Jefferson happy too, getting one of his boys to be a quarterback of the future for his NFL team. Now, Jayden Daniels sounds like he's meeting with the Commanders. He's meeting with the Giants, meeting with the Raiders, meeting with the Broncos, and also meeting with the Patriots and, of course, the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I think right now the Vikings are going pretty strong with J.J. McCarthy. Next couple of days, there was a report that McCarthy and Kevin O'Connell and the brass over there are going to be meeting for the next few days, spending some time together, getting a feel for each other. Now, I don't know how in-depth this meeting is going to be with Jayden Daniels, but I'm sure it's probably going to be pretty similar. Just trying to get to know the quarterback and everything like that. Now, Jayden Daniels is one of the best throwers of the football over the middle of the football field. And we know in Kevin O'Connell's system, you need to be really good at throwing the ball over the middle of the field. And Jayden Daniels does an amazing job at doing that. So it could be a natural fit. Now, people saying, he's kind of got a slim frame. He did weigh in at 210 pounds at his pro day. He did end up weighing in 210, which is a little slim, but, not horrible. They're going to get him weighted up, obviously, in the offseason programs if he does end up in Minnesota or wherever he does end up. Now he's probably going to be looking at a little bit more closer to 220, 225 once the season starts is what they hope. But I think Jayden Daniels is a very interesting prospect for the Vikings because he is a very natural passer. People have kind of compared him to C.J. Stroud. And if they do have the same trajectory in the NFL, if he does end up being a Rookie of the Year candidate, Minnesota's going to be back into the playoff hunt if he does end up in Minnesota and he does start from day one. And they probably do make the playoffs because we got a better defense and we still got all these playmakers around him on the offensive side of the football. So very interesting. He is meeting with the Vikings. Of course, Minnesota's doing their due diligence, meeting with J.J. McCarthy, Jayden Daniels, I'm sure Drake May, and a couple more quarterbacks on top of that. But what do you guys think? Jayden Daniels fit into this offense? It's going to be hard because I'm a huge Wolves fan. Jayden Daniels. So it's going to be interesting to see if he does end up in Minnesota. And hopefully he can thrive in the Kevin O'Connell system. But thanks, guys, for tuning in. Again, what do you guys think? Jayden Daniels in Minnesota? You like it? You don't like it? Let me know. God bless.